and we'll grab ourselves into some beautiful bands.
There you go. We should be getting into the draft ASAP. Hopefully, I get also invited back into the lobby. Thy lobby. Please invite me. We should be in there hopefully very, very soon. But yeah, so in terms of bans here, I'm really expecting something to go in the favor of Team Game Lord potentially. I think they still had a rather good draft. I think both drafts of that last game were really good. It mainly came down to execution. The moment that Team Game Lord were not able to deny that initial Drake that we hammered down so many times that point, the fact that we were not able to get it under their control was really causing their demise and allowed that Shyvana to get in such a good position and making it super rough for Team Game Lord to get back into a good position. So I'm really hoping to see Team Game Lord hopefully get themselves the Alistar. But I do believe that Singularity are going to ban Alistar regardless because, one, Alistar's broken. Number two, Alistar played by Hegman is even more broken. Okay? So, yeah.
I do expect the Alistar to be picked away or banned away from the side of Hegman. Is that bans has started. Akali going to be the first one off the board. Max, man, no surprise once again to see Akali being taken off. And as we talked about their composition, there wasn't much wrong with the side of Game Lord's composition. They had the Orianna in the mid lane. They had the Braum Xayah safe duo combo in the Dragon lane. I think where it did fall short, though, was you pick up a Wukong into now a Shyvana and a complete engaged composition. It wants to dive onto you. There is no reason that you can't just pick up an Amumu and deny that engagement, deny that aggression coming out, because a Wukong can only stun so much. It's not as a big and fat stun as the Curse of the Sad Mummy. But I tell you what, even the Garen, not a good pick compared to a Malphite. You had to see that coming, especially as that second pick, being that Rakana's to support first.
Especially the thing was Malphite. Even if Malphite falls behind, his ultimate is just so game-changing that he still was able to bring so much to the table. It's not even funny. So that is something to keep in mind. If you have a character that falls behind, can he bring something to your game? Garen can't do that. Malphite can, which made also a really big difference in that Baron lane all around for that last matchup. Now going for the bans, Team Singularity decide to ban away the Misfortune, even though the few nerfs that happened on top of her on the love tap. I think she's still one of the best ADCs currently in the game with Xayah. So at the end, they're going to be banning that Misfortune away. Lee Sin also for Team Game Lord. Seems like they're going to go for a big ban around backline divers. So maybe showing that here they want to go for some squishy backlines with maybe minimal mobility, which could be happening for Team Game Lord. So I'm going to be looking out for that a little bit. Hopefully things should be looking good.
Yeah, we do obviously have the Alistar being banned out, right?
Yeah,
it
makes sense.
Second pick. So Alistar being taken away from Game Lord makes a lot of sense. We talked about how that is Hegman's comfort pick, but also on the other side, the Lee Sin starting to go into that jungle pool once again, onto Singularity, saying, okay, you challenged us in that jungle pool in that first game, making us pick up that Wukong or choose to pick up that Amumu. Now we're going to say, take away the Lee Sin, maybe pick up that Shyvana as an early lock-in, and then say, okay, what are you going to pick now?
The thing is, if you pick Shyvana early on, it's opening yourself to counters, because they picked Shyvana very late in the composition of Singularity, right? They went for it pretty late. And when you pick it so early, what that is forcing a response into is you're saying to the enemy team, okay, we picked a very bad early game character in the jungle. You should, to counter us, pick a very good early game character. So that's something to happen. But it seemed like that entire point is going down the drain as they just ban away Shyvana. That's a way of countering Shyvana, you got to say. You just ban it away and you should be good, hopefully. Unless she kills when she's banned. And I think that makes the character pretty damn broken. Yeah, Shyvana's gone.
If she gets a penner when she's not even in the game, dude, that's when you know you need to nerf something in the Wild Rift. But it will be interesting to see what comes out as that final ban, because you see that Alistar is going to be open. The Aurelian Soul now going to be put away. I expect actually to see the two congested picks going to be that Orianna and going to be that Braum. Of course, we talk about the side of our tanks, but the Orianna specifically is now that Soul mid lane potential that is going to be going over to that blue side for the side of Game Lord. And in response, you maybe then start to see, as we talked about, the Braum along with that Xayah, but the Rakan once again.
To ult himself. I think Olaf should be in a really good position, but Olaf is also one of those characters that if he falls behind, he struggles to get back into a good spot. So Olaf can't afford to die early on or can't afford to give any lead to his respective lane matchup. But there we go. With that said, hey, Island, we are slowly going to be making our way into our second matchup of the side of Singularity versus Team Game Lord. Game Lord, so far, do not have the advantage. The first point went over to the side of Singularity. If they win this, it's 2-0. Hopefully, though, we'll be going to game 3 because what we need here is content. We all have content.
I want some content from you, from me, from these players, Max. But I tell you
my
what,
dad,
we
my
also
mom,
need to talk about. Well, yeah, I like that. Yeah, we could thank them later. But in terms of this second game, Max, we do have to talk about where the strength of these position of team fights will be for the side of Game Lord, and that is inside the lane. Because yes, they have a lot of CC on the side of Singularity. But for maneuverability, these lane fights is where the strength of that maneuverability will come in for the side of Game Lord, where they can dip, dodge around maybe that mid lane brush, get that vision, jump back in with Desire, with that Feather Storm, and chuck all of those feathers and retract them back into all of the members' backs. That's where the strength might come in. But equally, on the other hand, we talked about that first Dragon, Max, being the most important thing is going to be that Mountain Dragon as well. And that might be the first fight as well. But Jhin goes down to half health, so will the Malphite, but no kill comes just yet.
Just a little bit back and forth, just some friendly banter in the early game. At least this is a chill one, you know. I got to say, after the early aggression we've been having throughout all these games today, I'm okay with a little bit of a relaxed early game. I'm okay with it. But we're talking about a lot of mobility, especially coming out the side. Oh, double knockup coming out from Ika, then the bottom side once again. He's just going to have a little bit of fun. Jumps straight back onto Azuri. Gives him a little bit of a root too. He gets rooted up. Not looking great for Ika. The bouncing grenade pops up. It takes a little bit more damage. But yeah, Jhin, we're talking about mobility. He has almost none. Sure, he gets some extra move speed after popping his 4th bullet. But in the grand scheme of things, he's not going to be all that much. Down the top side, the first blood comes on through from Rampog. And Rampog will actually be able to survive the ignite. So that's going to be Olaf already gone down. And as I said, his comeback potential is not that all that good, unfortunately.
He just falls off a cliff where his damage and becomes more of a tank, albeit even that more so because of those nerfs to his attack damage, to his tankiness here come this recent update, Max, man. And with Olaf not even able to find his strength is one of the strongest, if not one of, if not the strongest early game jungler here in the game, Max, against a Fiora in the top lane. Not the advantage he wants, but Rakan almost goes down, and Ignite will take him to death. And that will be the 1-for-1 trade.
Great CC3-man route actually coming out from Azure. So we've always been doing some work with those feather recalls. But that's 2 kills already going on the side of Singularity, which seem like the Baguette is going to be mightier than the game. And Baguette overall. Okay, I'm going to call them Team Baguette because that was the old team name, but no, it's Team Singularity now. I got to adjust to all these changes are happening in the EU scene, such as Team Ghost also getting picked up by Na'Vi, man. So many big orgs. And it feels great to have actually Na'Vi in this. I'm talking about Na'Vi because they're actually playing today, but not on stream. So it's also something to keep in mind that they're going to have their own respective matchups happening. And it feels good to see them big orgs like that. We'll see them again. But man, having a big org like that so early on in the esports scene of Wild Rift in EU especially.
It's insane.
That's amazing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
The amount of orgs here, even Tribe now coming into the mix, of course, with Nova early on. You see even now Singularity, Game Lord jumping in there as well. Queso, even one of these orgs from our previous run-ins here, and Mobile MOBA casting, Marksman jumping into the train as well. That is such good potential for these esports scenes. As you see in top lane, no, Darius will fall as well.
Corky's going to roam on through. Razor forcing a flash away from for a difference. Rampog tanking the tower shot for a second. It will be good to go. Otherwise, they're still going to be killed. Number 3, Moogly not having the best of time. Old playoff team secret for Vainglory, by the way. Not, unfortunately, in a good spot in this game all around. He's having a hard time. As Drake, you talked about it, how he's going to be so important. He's going to be a Mountain Drake, which is not the most important of all of them all. Gives you a rather significant shield. But, you know what? Hey, who would say no to Drake? You know what? If you can't get it, go for it. But it's just not the most impactful of them all. Infernal would be the best at this early stage. But unfortunately for this game, that's not going to be the one that spawns up.
But the tankiness, the shield that the side of Game Lords can grab from this first Drake will be so important because of that quick engage potential on the opposite of end Singularity. You see them immediately 5-man go for it as those recalls come off from the Jhin and the Malphite. In a mistake that I think from those recalls, not actually having Gragas even down in there to contest that dragon, gives it away over for free this time to Game Lord, and they will be content with that start by snowballing objectives.
They're going to do a little bit of cross-mapping, of course. Normally, first Drake, I think is okay to give it up if you have to find a lot of turrets, which Fiora is going to go for a second turret push in the top side, which I think, if she can find it, that's so much extra gold going their way, I think it's worth for them to give the Drake away for that. But now, Curtain Call coming out on the Jhin. He's not going to pop the final bullet. He's waiting. There you go. Pops the bullet onto Moogly. He's just going to be soaked up instantly. As Corki having to roam around the map. But now they're going to go for the push into mid. Sure, they do find the bot lane turret, but they lose 2 turrets for the go. Actually, no, mid turret does not fall. I called it a little bit too early. That's still 2 plates worth of gold going their way. And the gold league currently, you can check it out. That's going to be already up to 2, making his way towards 3,000 for Singularity. Game Lord, hey, starting to fall a little bit behind here.
They'll lose that mid turret. Maybe it won't be quite yet, but Orianna doesn't have enough damage just in the moment to be able to finish that one off as Corki jumps in for the fight and will deny it away. Crucial that that first turret doesn't go down. The fog of war is denied away from Singularity on those side entrances into the mid lane and actually makes that advantage still for Game Lord to fight, as we talked about in those lane matchups, in those lanes itself, and be able to use the full size of this map.
For a difference, getting a little bit too deep, going to take some damage, going to get rooted up, forcing the ult away. Those shockwaves, so much CC on top of Azure. Malphite can still ult if he wants to. He's not going to pull the trigger just yet. He's going to take it back a little bit, but because they found so much significant damage and used so many resources away from Game Lord, maybe they were thinking of doing a Herald. At least that would be my decision making. They just used so much, they're not fully ready to take a fight. As Fiora, though, towards the bottom side, she's going to get chased a little bit. Got to be careful how you push this, but I'm seeing too much respect almost coming out from Singularity. I thought they were winning that one pretty confidently, and I thought I would see an instant Herald. They do get it up regardless, and they go. Malphite going to go for the engage, not getting too much, and instantly dunked upon, but you're wonderful, able to survive the encounter regardless. That's Curtain Call. Now, coming on through. Can he find the snipes? Picks up one. Going to force the flash away from Corki. The 4th bullet will not connect, but Fiora going so damn deep, and she's obliterating all of Game Lord. Sure, Rampart goes down, but still a triple kill going his way, and I'm going to call that pretty damn worth.
Fiora just was getting fed off of those top turrets, off of those top plates. She finally joins the team fight. Olaf wasn't able to keep her away, and you saw the amount of work she was doing with the engage onto that Malphite. And the start, the instant double man knockup goes their way. And that is the power of the engaged potential from that fight. You don't need maneuverability on this Jhin to escape if you're the ones aggressing here, Max Man. And they also now set themselves up for vision prior going into the later stages for this Infernal Dragon, and then we'll be able to reset. As you see, the Malphite actually will be denied away from that reset, as the rest of the members have been able to pull that one off, come back over into the mid lane, push out these turrets, and just prepare for that next objective.
Looking at the itemization right now, and you can currently see that we are seeing indeed Moogly on the back foot, and he's going for some anti-healing currently in his build with a Brambled Vest, showing that here he's just mainly focused on his matchup up against this Fiora. If he can make her struggle, then he's going to be good, but Fiora is just seeming to be in such a good spot, 4-in-1 currently. She's already got the Triforce, and looking to slowly ease into that second tier 3 item very soon. I think that here Yarsina Darius is going to struggle to get back into it. And very similarly to Garen, he is having such a hard time to get back into it. Though he hits a great grab actually on top of Zor. He's going to be completely clutched away, charmed up. Going to use a shockwave on himself, but it's just not going to be enough. And that's going to be the second kill actually of this game, going away of Game Lords today. I'm looking happy about that. But what can they turn that kill into? Olaf is not there. Drake is spawning in the next 10 seconds, so they do not have time. The respawn is way too short at this stage of the game. But if they can find another kill, that would be amazing. As for a difference, having to go golden fatty boy. And that's going to be another dunk coming out. And for a difference, will indeed get picked up by the Xayah. And man, if you can get Xayah in a good game, that would be an amazing position for Game Lord to be in.
The Rift Herald as well, wasted for the side of Singularity, but we're not done.
Moogly's just feeling like a blitzcrank on this guy. Man, he's just hitting grab after grab. What's happening? Olaf a little bit too deep, and he's not tanky. Sure, he got the Ragnarok, but one thing it cannot block. Sure, it can block CC, but not death. As he gets smited away and sniped up by the Jhin. Too deep of an engage coming out from the Darius also. Azure now, final man standing in this current position as he gets taken down, as only the Corki will remain alive and make it out of that fight unscathed. And that's a free Drake, and especially Infernal Drake, which is not looking pretty for Game Lord.
They should have taken those kills. They should have reset, taken one man or two members to take out that Rift Herald before it charged down the lane. The turrets were already gone, so the Rift Herald wasn't going to be able to do anything in that mid lane anyways. And then come reset for the Dragon as a full 5-man, take that gold into the shop and be able to use it, because when it's sat in your pockets after the kill, it's still so useless. You're still so far behind against that Fiora, and she's now with that extra team fight going to boost herself even further. The Blade of the Ruin Mushroom King now being picked up, already on our way now to a third item here alongside the teleport as their spell.
They got the TPs as you just mentioned, so even though the fight they might not have the man advantage, they can easily pop the teleport, and you know that Malphite, he's ready to pop it any goddamn time. Very soon, hopefully. We'll see. As actually, yeah, check it out. No, he doesn't have one. I mixed it up with the Fiora. No, Fiora's got it up. But you know what? For a difference, going to be caught out of position. Instant Charm, having to flash away once more. For a difference, is definitely having a run for his money. Not having fun whatsoever. Going to be roaming around, looking for it. Zor not going to get knocked up by the engage of Ika. Ika not able to close that gap instantly, but Fiora in the bottom side, she has been split pushing continuously and endlessly throughout this entire game. And now they're going back because of that potential split push. This might be a free Baron pickup too. And Azure and Ika have to stay on the back line. They are just playing around with them. And Rampog is the reason why Game Lords are just struggling to know what to do.
Rampog is so fed from all of these turrets, but Darius and the Olaf Flood come in.
Or maybe, oh my god, Olaf can't do anything. Once again, taken down instantly. And Rampog is taking a 1v2. Fiora, the new meta, seems like it. But now back towards the Baron pit. We talked about it because that was going to be a great push on the Fiora on the side. They might be trying to snatch it away. Going pretty low. He's going to be able to smite it away. He's going solo HP. Maybe stolen away and secured, but actually by the Orianna. It got so close yet so far for Game Lord. Azika having to just move away so low. Azure still lay. Will be able to jump out. Oh, no, makes it right over to Zor. That's such a feels bad man position. As it will be Azure in a really good spot. Taking some good, well, good spot in a bad spot, but he was getting some really big damage. He posts the shield last second on the barrier, and he will fall regardless. Azure, I thought was going to make the clutch happen for a second, but unfortunately his damage was not enough. If he got the Inferno Drake earlier, maybe, but they just were not able to get that Drake.
Insult to injury here, Max, as the Baron minions now go through the mid and top lane, but we don't need to go through that bot lane because it's already gone. Already decimated by that Fiora, who is so fed right now. Already now has a Death Dance, now moving over towards their fourth item on their kit. And once it starts to get to that 4th, 5th item max build, that's when it starts to look scary. Already look at the levels here, Max, man. 2 levels ahead of some of these other carries.
Yeah, they're 2 levels. 1 level is already starting to look a little bit scary of an advantage, but 2 levels is where things start to get a little bit dicey, I would even say. You're Wonderful allowing himself to just tank up those minions because he wants his teammates to pick it up potentially, and also they got the Baron buff, so he's just playing. Where's this? Oh, he's emoting. Scur is emoting. Oh my god. Wait, it's the bait. It's the bait. Is it going to work? Are they going to get Razor? No way. That would be insane if the emote play actually paid off. Going to go for the knockback. Great body slam coming out from the Gragas. The team is able to follow up. No kill will ensue, but they are still heavily wounded as Hegman onto the back line. Going to be trying to go straight for the Gragas. Going to be flashing away. Good stuff coming out from Hegman. But without his team, there's really not much he can do as a solo Olaf player. And now they got a man advantage. Now it's a 5v4. Great engagement to the back line. Instant Gragas pop on the ulti. He's going to go dive on through. Raya able to find himself Rez able to find himself 1 kill. But Missouri having to go golden, trying to tank it up. And that is going to be not an ace, but it's going to be an unofficial ace. As only Rakan is left alive. Is a support. There's not much he can really do. Gets himself a nice triple knockup. They should be trying to focus the base regardless.
That's it.
There you go. That's going to be game, I do believe. That's going to be GG, and that's going to go the way of none other than Team Singularity taking the series 2-0.
Singularity is so dominant here. If you're literally one-shotting away the Corki and the rest of the entire side of Game Lords, there was nothing that they could do when they allowed the Darius not to be able to contest that Fiora, and then not even back it up with more members to shut that Fiora down. She got so fed, and you could see even that in that first mid lane fight. That's when she started joining the team fights. That when she started getting that beautiful triple kill up to 4-1. And then from there, the game was just over when you were allowed to then farm up in those bottom tier turrets as well.
We're not going to lie to ourselves, man. These matchups today have just been stomps. 2-0 for Trovo Nova versus the side of Footballist. Here, another 2-0. This time is going to be for Singularity versus Game Lord. These are teams not only just getting some good games, these are teams coming into this very early esports scene in the EU region.
Scary
and
good games.
Yeah, making statements. They're like, we're the top team potentially in the region because there's already